What's going on, Bengals fans? Happy Saturday to you. Stone Shields on hand for another edition of Bengals Breakdown. Coming up on today's show, going to be talking about the latest news and rumors surrounding the Cincinnati Bengals. Going to be spending some time talking about Al Golden. Also, could the Bengals potentially be leaving Cincinnati? No, I don't think so, but we'll discuss what has been covered by WCPO in relation to the Bengals potentially being in a dispute. Not really potentially in a dispute. They are in a dispute with the Hamilton County, but potentially it getting so bad where they leave. Again, don't think it's going to happen, but we'll talk about that here on today's show. Also, could the Cincinnati Bengals perhaps be going to Madrid for the Madrid game in 2025? That would be pretty cool. Before we get into all that, make sure you guys give me a follow over on Twitter at StoneShields_. All of our Bengals breakdown content will be posted to my Twitter page. Also seeing some more short form content on there as well. All of our YouTube shorts are going up on my page. Also, all the latest reports from the beat reporters as well you will find on my page. Trying to get to 500 followers, so give me a follow over on Twitter at StoneShields_. Also, doing some solo producing here today, so if you see me look down or whatever the case may be, just trying to do multiple things here at once as we progress through today's show. Talked about last week how the Bengals are down to two candidates, Patrick Graham and Al Golden, for their vacant defensive coordinator position. Seems like Al Golden is indeed the front runner. He was kind of my 1B going into the whole process, right? It was between him and Aubrey Pleasant for me in terms of the guys that I wanted. So I'm pretty fired up if Al Golden is indeed the guy that is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals defensive coordinator. He made some comments probably a week or so ago about the position and pretty much canceled it out. But, of course, they're getting ready at Notre Dame for the national title game. That means more media time for Al Golden. He addressed it again, and this time he kind of had a bit of a different perspective, so to speak. We'll get into this exact quote right here. Here is what Al Golden had to say when asked about the Cincinnati Bengals vacant defensive coordinator position. He said, "It's humbling that your name is mentioned because of team success or the success of our defense. This is not the time or place. This is about the kids. The biggest thing for us right now is understanding the enormity of this game. That's our focus. All of that other stuff we'll deal with in the future." So at least kind of addressing that, hey, something might be coming down the pipeline in regards to possibly a reunion with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's handling the situation just about as good as he can. You see so many coaches, they kind of get sidetracked. They get ready for these big games, these playoff games, these bowl games, and they're already worried about what is to come. Obviously, the most notable guy, Brian Kelly, who left the Cincinnati Bearcats before they played Tim Tebow in the Sugar Bowl and left for Notre Dame, funnily enough. That's the school he left for. But Al Golden is handling this situation absolutely perfectly, in my opinion. But just based on the way he was talking, I don't know if me reading the quote really does it justice, but hearing him talk, it definitely seems like he is interested in this Bengals defensive coordinator position. And I would be shocked if by sometime this week he was not announced as the Bengals' next DC. Leads to the pinned comment of today's video. Will Al Golden be the Bengals' next defensive coordinator? Let me know in the comments section of today's video. Type Y for yes or N for no. It is the pinned comment of today's show. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. Take advantage of it. Get down in the comments and let us know what you think. Okay, so is there reason to be concerned about the Bengals potentially leaving for a different city? As we know, Paycor Stadium is about to undergo some serious renovations, and apparently there is some dispute between Hamilton County and the Cincinnati Bengals. There have been emails that have kind of gotten out. The WCPO has reported on these emails that show growing tensions between kind of the Blackburn family with the Cincinnati Bengals and Hamilton County. Hamilton County has never made an offer to continue operating in Cincinnati after the lease. That certainly is noteworthy, and that's kind of the big question of this is, could the Bengals perhaps leave? I'll have kind of my thoughts on that here in a moment, but do want to get to what Troy Blackburn, Bengals vice president, had to say about this via an email. He said, "The county has not performed its obligation under the lease. With the stadium entering its final lease year, the situation stands very much at a precipice, and we hope progress can be made so the stadium remains an asset for the community." That's really just a fancy way of saying, like, hey, we need to get this figured out or we're going to have some issues. Do I see a world where the Cincinnati Bengals leave the city of Cincinnati? No, not yet. Anyway, I think this is still very early on in the process. My biggest takeaway from this whole situation is only the Bengals would find themselves in this situation. There's so many other cities that have to go through stuff like this when their lease on the stadium's running out and they're working, with the whatever county the stadium is in and trying to figure things out. And it always gets figured out. But of course, the Bengals are going into their final year, and there is some issues. Apparently, the stuff with the renovations, Hamilton County and the Bengals, for whatever reason, not on the same page. Look, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know exactly what is going on, but I do think it is very noteworthy that really we've only seen WCPO report on this. Rapine mentioned it briefly in an article, but all the big-time people that cover the Bengals aren't even really talking about this at this point. I think it's something that, is just going to play out over time. Obviously, the two sides have not come to an agreement. The negotiations last time they were, trying to negotiate, they just stalled out because they simply were not getting anywhere with regards to kind of coming to a decision. So we'll see. I think it's certainly something to monitor. Obviously, not ideal that they're going into the last year of the lease, but as far as leaving the city of Cincinnati, no time to hit the panic button at this point. Again, my biggest takeaway is only the Cincinnati Bengals would find themselves in this situation. Get it figured out, and get it figured out as soon and efficient as possible, because we've seen all these renovations to Paycor Stadium, and they look like they're going to be really, really cool. Hopefully it all works out, and the Bengals will be back at Paycor Stadium for a long, long time, and the stadium and the area around the stadium will just continue to develop into a really, really nice spot. Continue with our show here in a moment. But first, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Still some time to get some tickets to some NFL playoff games. Obviously, the divisional round, by the time this video, the first game will be done, and the second game will be well underway. By the time this video comes out, still some games tomorrow, still some tickets that are on sale, and next week is championship weekend, of course. That should be very, very exciting. For a more local perspective, obviously spring training around the corner. I'm really fired up about the Cincinnati Redlegs. Hopefully they can have a really solid season here. First year with Tito Francona at the helm for the Cincinnati Reds. So you can get some tickets over there to kind of essentially check out some spring training games if you would like to do so. Also, you see Bearcats basketball. They were on a bit of a slow start there, and they've really come around the past couple of games, and I would imagine they're going to take care of business against Arizona State by the time this video comes out as well. My two favorite features on Game Time: the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Game Time. Secondly, the all-in pricing. Toggling this feature up front allows you to see your total up front so you don't get hit with any of those surprise fees at checkout like some of those other ticketing companies can get you with. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. All right, there's been some talk that the Cincinnati Bengals could be playing in Madrid for the NFL Madrid game. The NFL, of course, going to Madrid here in 2025. Pretty exciting. The Dolphins are going to be the host of that game. Don't know exactly who they are going to be playing. I think there is a very good chance that it is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals that they play. We'll kind of talk about what Jay Morrison wrote about, covers the Bengals, of course, here in a moment. But first, I'm going to hear from you guys. Would you like to see the Cincinnati Bengals play in Spain? Let me know in the comment section. Type 1 for yes or 0 for no. Do you want to see Joe Burrow and the boys go international and perhaps play in that Madrid game? As I mentioned, the Dolphins will be the home team for that game. So the Dolphins are a home team in 9 games, right? So that means 1 of 9 teams they will host in this game. But several of these teams can be eliminated from contention in terms of playing in this football game in Madrid. A couple of the teams that come to mind right off the bat: the Patriots and Jets, they have been there often, so you can pretty much get them out of there. I believe the Patriots have been overseas the past 2 years. You rarely see a team, or I don't think you ever see a team play 3 consecutive years overseas, besides the Jaguars, of course, who play there every single year. So Patriots can be out. Jets played there last year, and they're going to play there in the following year. So I think the Jets you can eliminate as well. Usually it's only conference games. I believe there's only been one international game that was AFC versus NFC. So that eliminates, not eliminates, but it makes the Saints, Buccaneers, and Commanders all long shots. And then usually you don't get many division games in these international games as well. So I think you consider the Bills a long shot for Miami. So basically it's going to come down to Baltimore, the Chargers, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, I think the Bengals are a really great candidate for this position. The league is kind of falling in love with this team just because of the star power, right? The league loves their stars, and the Bengals have, two bona fide superstars in Burrow and Chase. Maybe Higgins is back. We will see. Hopefully he is. But a lot of reason for Bengals to perhaps be that team that plays the Miami Dolphins in Madrid, and I think that certainly would be a fun game. For season ticket holders, unfortunate because it's one less home game you get to go to here in Cincinnati. But, from a global perspective, it might be pretty cool to see them overseas and get in on that NFL international game action. We will be here all season long. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV. I'll have another video out for you guys on Sunday, and pretty much daily videos coming your guys' way here at Bengals Breakdowns. So don't miss out on any of our coverage. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/BengalsTV.